Are you listening? Damn.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Peak Podcast, a source of information, tools, tips, skills, lessons, stories, and mindset to help you reach your peak and beyond in fitness, relationships, your career, and so much more. Let's do this. Hello and welcome to episode 68 of the Peak Podcast. Marco Augusto back with you again for another episode. Episode 68, why you're not seeing results. This is a podcast based on my free 5-day course, which you can find at the website, peakstrengthandnutrition.com/5-day course. 5 is the number. Okay. Check it out. It's an awesome course that I've got available, pretty in-depth, covering training, nutrition, mindset, recovery, and goal setting and values. So it's a pretty awesome free course. This is based loosely upon that free 5-day course. So check it out at the website. All right, let's get into it. Why you're not seeing results. So there is nothing more inspiring we see than making an amazing physical transformation, okay? People love seeing a good old-fashioned physical transformation before and after, okay? But a lot of the time, most of us don't make that physical transformation. We lose some weight, we get stronger, but we don't make such a clearly distinguishable physical transformation, which is a bummer, right? Now, of course, not all of us can make such a big physical transformation. I don't want to go into genes or anything like that, but some of us are just able to, some of us aren't, some of us are in different situations, right? That's always the goal. So why is it that despite the efforts of so many people, most of us will actually never achieve anything close to the body we want? Is it just because of the genetics, right? It could be just because it's a simple bell curve, right? Basically, you're either going to be right in the middle. It's very hard to be in the extremes, right? So it's just a bell curve. That's as simple as that, right? There's a reason it's called the average, okay? Most people are going to be in that. Unfortunately, we're going to be in that. But we actually don't help ourselves along the way, okay? So some people can do it genetically. Some people, for whatever reason, get the results. But for others, you may have to work a bit harder. If I say that, work a bit harder, what most people will go to is the training, okay? Oh, well, I've got to train harder. You probably do. Most people actually probably don't train that hard, but some people do train pretty hard and still don't get results. What's happening? What's going on? Okay? The truth is, right, training is the easy part. Sounds crazy, but training is the easy part, right? Firstly, training is simple to get your head around, right? If you can just show up to training, you're pretty sweet, right? If you can just get to the gym, you'll be all right. You may not have the best session, but you still get something pretty decent in, right? And then other times you will be super motivated and you'll crush it. But as long as you can turn up to the gym, putting in that 1 hour is pretty easy. Sure, you kick your own ass, but it's pretty easy, right? If you're paying someone to coach you an hour, 90 minutes, so you know that's a pretty small time commitment, right? You just got to show up and you get told what to do for 60 minutes, 60, 90 minutes. Right? Again, it's pretty easy. It's tough physically, not mentally, yeah, but it's only an hour, okay? You're also paying for it a lot of the time. So yeah, you've got some motivation there. You're being told what to do and you're paying for it. Pretty easy, okay? Plus, once you're done, you're done. That's it for your training. A lot of the time, you'll put in an hour, 90 minutes, you're done. You're not going to train the second time. Some people do who are super committed. But for a lot of us, training once a day is good enough. And once you're done, you're done. Awesome. The problem is that getting results isn't about 1 hour in the gym. If you think about purely from a percentage of time, 1 hour out of your 24 hours doesn't seem like it's going to make much of a difference. Like 1/24 of your time is spent on training, and that's the thing that's going to get the results. I would suggest that the other 23 hours is probably the part that I would focus on the most in regards to getting results. Right? This is the same with nutrition. Nutrition, you could eat 3 to 5 times a day. So that means you've got 3 to 5 times of getting it wrong. Training, you turn up, you've got it right. Boom, simple as that. You've got it right. You may not give 100%, you may not nail it, you may not be feeling it, but if you're just getting consistent with that training, you've got it right. Nutrition, 1 meal, and you can stuff up a day. So it's a bit harder to get right. Okay? You've probably heard abs are made in the kitchen, right? Classic cliche. But what people mean is that nutrition is a bigger part of your results in training, right? That means that what you eat has a bigger effect on your results in your training. That's what they're hinting at, right? Yet, nutrition is much harder, okay? Why? A lot of information out there. You're doing it a few times a day, right? It's a day-long process, right? It's not like getting your head around, again, training, 1 hour, you can easily get your head around it. Nutrition, it's a long process. Not only do you do it 3 to 5 times a day, you do it 3 to 5 times every day. At least with training, you may have a rest day, right? You may not train. That's easy. That's even easier. But nutrition has to be on point all the time because you can easily get it wrong once and then you've undone all your hard work, okay? So the other thing is the training's got a pretty set way of doing it. Sure, there are some new styles coming in, high intensity training, shit house, right? There's new styles of training coming in, but basically since the start of the 1900s, even earlier, there's been a pretty good, consistent way of getting results with your training. So again, there's less guesswork with training, whereas nutrition, there's so many different ways you can do it. But this isn't only about nutrition. Nutrition is part of your recovery, okay? That is what I want to talk about, recovery, okay? So nutrition is tough, which is part of your recovery. Yet, it is the bigger portion of your day. Okay, so this is what I want to talk about, the recovery side of things. Okay, I mentioned before, 1 hour training, the other 23 hours is spent recovering. That means that a big focus should be put onto that other 23 hours. Okay? How our nutrition should be based on recovery. What we do the rest of the time should be based on recovery. The training is the easy part, okay? So let's touch on a few of those things in terms of recovery. Again, we talked about nutrition, right? Nutrition, protein is king in terms of recovery. 1 gram per pound of lean body mass, that's a good foundation, right? Maybe increase from there based on hard training, but that's a pretty good recommendation just to start with, okay? 1 gram of protein per pound of lean body mass, okay? Removing processed foods, that's another great recommendation. Of course, it's not as black and white as that, but think about also micronutrients, okay? Often we think about macronutrients, but micronutrients are super important. They play a super important part in basically all the processes of your body. So sure, you might be getting the right macronutrients in, but you could be getting the wrong micronutrients in, which will eventually affect fat loss, energy levels, all of that, okay? So removing the processed foods, going to more natural foods, the way that they are, right? Not in a box. That's going to improve your recovery, right? It's going to make sure that your recovery is as best as it can. And another simple one, hydration. Again, hydration water plays such a massive role in processes in our body. So make sure you're hydrated. 2 litres a day is still a good recommendation. Front load it so you don't wake up during the night. Okay, so don't have the second of your 2 litres an hour before bed. Not a good idea, right? You should probably have 1.5 litres by midday. Okay, so make sure you're hydrated as well. Okay, so in terms of nutrition, protein, remove processed foods, make sure you're hydrated. Quite simple. Okay, active recovery. Firstly, a shift in perspective for active recovery, because we talk about, a lot of times we talk about training days and rest days. I would have training days, recovery days, rest days, okay? Rest day basically means not training, but that's not a good thing. Just because you're not training doesn't mean you're actually actively recovering. Doesn't mean you're doing anything. Well, because I'm not training, I'm recovering. That's a dumbass way to go, because you can be doing a lot of things which aren't going to help your recovery. Just your day-to-day things which aren't going to be helping recovery, right? So it's not training day, rest day. It should be training day, recovery day. So you are actively going out of your way to do recovery based on your nutrition, based on your sleep, right? So you're based on movement, yoga, right? All of these things that actually focusing on recovery. And then you've got rest days where you're not doing anything, okay? You're proper relaxing, okay? So firstly, shifting mindset around active recovery. But there's your active recovery, which is a broad term again, but think of it not as rest, think of it as stretching, yoga, Pilates, walking, swimming, right? So we're actually still getting some movement in that's going to help us. The sauna, ice baths, right? Highly beneficial, right? Also, anything that is going to help us to remove stress, okay? Meditation, just removing stimulus, right? So removing phones and social media free days, journaling, all of these things that, just are removing stimulus from our environment, okay? So your active recovery is something which is going to help you recover from your training. And sleep is a massive one. I talked about sleep in the last podcast, episode 67. Right? It's when the majority of your recovery happens. Okay? Remember, just because you're not training doesn't mean you're recovering. A lot of the times we're still at a high level of stimulation. Okay? We're in front of a computer screen with poor posture, right? We're still working hard at our jobs. We're still doing things, right? Still a lot of stress. So that is not in a recovered. That is not in a phase that is downshifted, right? Down regulated. Okay? So that 7 to 9 hours of sleep is really where the magic happens. Okay? Again, 7 to 9 hours. 7 is very much on the low end of the scale. If you're training hard, I would go 8 minimum. If you are training hard, at least 8 hours of sleep. I would even push that up higher. But if you are training hard, at least 8 hours of sleep. Again, focus on the light in the room. Make sure it's dark. Make sure you don't have any screens. Temperature as well, 18 to 19 degrees, right? Don't be having coffee after 2 p.m., 2 or 3 p.m., okay? So don't be having caffeine, stimulants. Okay, so those are the 3 areas. Nutrition. Make sure your nutrition supports the recovery, right? You're eating to recover. Active recovery. Do that walking, do that stretching, do that yoga. Do those ice baths, right? And then sleep. Those are 3 areas. Those are probably the reasons you're not getting the results, because you're not focusing on your recovery. And those 3 areas are what you can focus on, which is going to help your recovery in a massive way, and is going to help you get better results. That is it, episode 68. As I mentioned, check out the free 5-day course over at the website, Peak Strength and Nutrition / 5-day course. 5 is the number. It covers this, it covers recovery, it covers training, it covers nutrition, and a whole lot more. Check it out. That is it for episode 68. Leave a 5-star review if you thought it was awesome, and if not, let me know how I can improve. That is it for this episode. Until next time, be safe, be cool. Stay socially distanced until we're free to frolic again. Bye.